Hello, Internet. Welcome to our first podcast of Somewhere in Between. On this episode, we are going to dive straight first into the world of COVID, where we're going to be talking about the masks, the reopenings, and the difference between where I live in Michigan and my co host, Adam, lives in Indiana. And um, I'm Gabe. This is my co host, Adam, where we have different point of views on topics, and hopefully we come to an understanding on this episode of Somewhere in Between. All right. I think I'm just gonna mention it because it's gonna bug me. So it's gonna bug me. So, all right, Internet. My
If you
name.
were going to mention it, I was going to mention it.
Well, anyway, both of us were gonna mention it. So, all right, Internet. This is technically our second episode right now. Our first episode, we talked about sports and the life of COVID, and that was actually pretty. It went pretty well last week, but unfortunately, when we were live streaming it, you had to automatically save the VOD on Twitch. So, RIP
Hey,
to the.
is it automatically saving right now? I just
Yeah,
want
yeah, it's saving
to
right
make
now.
sure.
I saved it. I saved it for this time. All right. So,
Don't
just a
want to.
little intro. This is our number two episode of Somewhere in Between, and I'll let Adam take away at what we're gonna be discussing about for our.
Yeah, this week Gabe kind of opened it up to me to kind of come up with a topic, and I wanted to talk about COVID and kind of really our personal experiences on what we've experienced the last, 6 months.
Since like what,
Um,
March, like
yeah,
beginning,
I mean
like the
since
end of
mid March.
February or something like that.
Yeah, about since mid March for me, at least here. So I kind of wanted to start with you, Gabe. What have you been experiencing? What's going on in your world of COVID and how that's affecting your day to day?
I just gotten more fat. I'll admit that I probably have gained so much weight during this whole COVID thing. Like I remember like I was like I was on a good streak for maybe like 3 weeks of just like on a treadmill, just actively walking. I got like a weight vest and everything. So I was trying to like stay active. You're trying to be inside all day. You're going nuts. So I was doing good for maybe 3 weeks, and after that, I just died off, and I was kind of like whatever. But yeah, I think it all changed is when it was we just ended our basketball season for work, and it was the beginning of baseball and track for college sports. That's where I work. I work in a university, and that was when they were like, "Oh no, we might not have sports," and blah blah. Then, sure enough, like I think the end of February, I think that was when like I got an email saying, "Hey, you can either like we'll give you an option to quit early, then we'll give you a bonus if you like leave or something like that." So I was kind of like, "Well, fuck, I'll do that instead." And then I read the contract and everything, and I was making more like leaving than working. So I was like, "All right, I'll do that instead." And then yeah, and then just
I'd
since
love to
then
talk about that.
and then after that, it's just been just staying home, really, just being more of a hermit than ever. So just the outside world, it's kind of weird because you're kind of like now it's like you have to mask up everywhere you go, and it's just I don't know. I guess really like to me personally, like nothing's really changed because like I really don't go out as much. I mean, I never did before, but like it didn't really hurt me as much. So now I guess I'll ask you like what's I know we have different like lives now. So now you're a family man, so I know everything is like different for you.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll just give you a little background for the viewers. I moved to Indiana from Michigan like mid January, so I had about 2 months before all this stuff happened in Indiana to get kind of unpacked. And then COVID hit. So I'm like just getting into a new position, well, the same position in a bigger office, and trying to figure out all that. Very technologically disinclined office, so they don't know how to work remote. They didn't know how to work with Skype or Microsoft Teams. So like March hit, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh God, this is not gonna be good. Meanwhile, most of the offices like we need to be working remote 100%. I'm sitting there thinking they're not ready to work remote at all because they can't even conduct a conference call successfully. So within about like probably 2 to 4 weeks or so, I got everybody acclimated to Microsoft Teams and Skype, and that was a challenge. So like just the whole working environment has been a nightmare
It's a bunch of
because
old
I haven't
timers.
stopped. Yeah, like yeah, not even old. I mean, even not even old timers. It's crazy. People are just ignorant. Um, they just don't know how to work basic technology. This stuff's been around for 20 years. So um, just trying to get in there and adapt to the work at home environment. So then I started working at home probably, probably 3 or 4 days a week. I was working at home 100%. And I'd go in to basically cut checks for the office. And that's pretty much the only thing I did. I worked from home, which was terrible. So working from home with kids is awful. It's the worst thing in the whole wide world. I don't know why everybody's like, oh, it's the future of the office. And I do think that a lot of people will opt in to work from home. But if you don't have a setup at home, I'm
Yeah,
working in our master bedroom. If this was a permanent situation, you can bet your ass I'd be in one of the spare bedrooms and I'd kick everything out of there because
you need that
yeah,
space, man.
there's no way because even just now, like just this podcast, like I can't even be in here. My wife's trying to get in here right now, so I got to rush this thing. But so like in during the day when I'm working with, if I'm on a conference call or even if I'm just working, kids are jumping on me and then you also have the distraction of like, well, I have my computer right here and I've got my laptop from work right here. Well, shoot, I can have RuneScape playing over here, the greatest game of all time, the greatest MMORPG of all time on my left monitor, and I can, try to get my 99 cooking, which I achieved successfully this week after almost 16 years into the game, and be doing work. So it poses some extra challenges. Um, Yeah, I mean that's been my experience. Right now, I would say nothing has changed. Now that I'd say probably the last 2 to 3 months in Indiana, nothing's changed. Everyone's just wearing masks outside.
Yeah,
So that or masks inside, I should say. Outside, it's pretty much whatever goes.
yeah. Well, I guess from like Mass too, like now, like all, like everyone, every company, every uh, like Etsy makers making masks now. It's like different mask designs now. It's like that's the thing. Like I find that's like after like a month later, everyone's all like, "Oh,
Capitalism, baby.
get your own well designed mask." Now I'm like, "Oh, here." I thought these were just for emergencies. Now everyone's all like, "No, let's make them look personal now. Personalize them."
Yeah,
I'm
I
like
saw one guy with like a Louis Vuitton mask,
a Louis
like
Vuitton.
the brown with the gold letters, freaking Louis Vuitton mask. It's straight up probably $1,000 mask, and it probably cost them 50 cents to make.
Yep.
It's unbelievable.
I ain't gonna lie,
So
cause I got my own like design mask from Teespring.
yeah, I've got disposable masks.
This is not sponsored, by the way, but I'm just saying
Teespring, huh?
I got it
Check
from
that. You
Teespring.
got a promo code?
I wish one
Promo
day.
code GSOTO at Teespring gets you 10% off. May or may not work. I promise you.
One day we'll hit that. But yeah, just the whole like then like I guess even going more into mass is like the whole like the mask war, which I find it very interesting because I think that's like one of the things that like was like a sense of humor to me because it's like seeing on the news like people are fighting to, especially like the people in Florida, like they had some very unusual answers for not wanting to have a mask on. I'll say that
What were their answers?
because I remember
I don't know. I didn't hear
you
this.
didn't hear it. There was one where
I might have. I don't know.
there was one where there was a lady. She's saying like if I wear a mask, if it's like wearing like a, I'm gonna be wrong on this, but it's kind of like something about her vagina saying I need to let it breathe or something like that. And I was kind of like, what? And she said that
Give me her number.
because she said it during like one of those like government those meetings or whatever where they talk to like
Like
the
a town
council.
hall.
Yeah. And I just remember just seeing like if I wear a mask, I lose my breathing. And some at that the last lady just took my breath away with her answer. It was just kind of like,
Yeah.
wow. And that's
So what are your general thoughts on the masks as far as like effectiveness is?
I mean,
from spreading
I
COVID.
guess it's just I guess it's being common courtesy. It's just kind of like, all right, I'm not gonna affect you, just don't affect me. And I know the whole 6 feet apart thing, like like a few weeks ago they said, oh, 6 feet is okay, and then 3 weeks later they said, oh, I guess 6 feet apart is it should be more. I'm like, well, what is it? Like, is it 8 feet, 10 feet, 6 feet? Like, and then mask. I mean, I have no problem wearing a mask as long as it's kind of like if it helps, then it helps. So I'm just doing my part just to save the idiots of the world.
You shouldn't even try to save them. I think they should just let it run through. No, I mean, look, I think that masks definitely work, but the selectiveness of the use of masks solves zero. So like, it's either an all in or all nothing
Like
for
some of
me.
them wear like bandanas, and some of them wore like
No,
those
I
gear.
mean, I mean, when I go to a bar and like, for example, if I go, like, we went to a winery today, and there were probably 500 people there today. There were probably 500 people outside,
Mm-hmm.
and unless you were standing up, you did not have a mask on. I
Oh,
mean,
oh,
and
it's funny you say that because me and Dylan went out last night. We went bar hopping, and yeah, like we only wear masks to like go outside and get in, and then as soon as we get our table, and we just take them off. Like there's no point to it.
it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and then so like I mean, as long as like the establishment has like, I mean, I guess you're like if you're spread apart, then they're doing their job to meet state guidelines and all that stuff, trying to reopen. And then we went to another bar down the street, and the outside was packed. So like there's like everyone's, it's like a square. There's everyone's dancing in the middle of the street. There's lounges and everywhere, and no one was wearing a mask. And like me, I'm trying to be safe and all. Like I'm on the very corner of the square, have my own spot to myself, and I have my mask off because there's just me and Dylan, together. But when I was like waiting in line for stuff, I had my mask on because I was like, maybe like from here to other people. So
Hmm.
like, that's the only time I wore my mask. Like if I was like, you know, around other people that were like close by to me. But like if I was like, in the distance, and I'd just be like, I'll take it off. Like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I think it's just like a common courtesy at this thing. Even if you don't believe it, it's like opening a door for somebody else. That's the way I look at it. Like, you
They
may
don't say
not think
thank
that
you.
matters at all, but like, I'm also not gonna be like, thanks for not wearing your mask. I don't know. Just people are nuts. I just feel like the selectiveness of it is kind of crazy to me. Like, there is no difference between sitting at a table, and we're not spaced apart. We're really
Yeah,
not spaced
you're
apart.
not. You're like maybe like
And not at the tables I've been, not where I'm at.
like spaced apart. It's like you're having there's like two chairs empty in between you. Like that's spaced apart.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, I just don't see that making a difference at all. I mean, my kids played on the playground this winery we go to. It's 2 minutes down the road, and they have a playground. And my kids probably came in contact with 30 other kids today, with none of the kids had masks. Not a
Mm.
single kid had a mask on. And so, like, if we get COVID, like, it's probably from that, right? I mean, I'm not in contact with really anybody else other than that this weekend. So, hey, next week I might be in a hospital bed, so that'll be kind of fun. We'll be able to do the podcast from a hospital.
Live.
So yeah, I mean, so as far as it's kind of funny. The next topic I really wanted to talk on was the differences in how Indiana's handled it, and compared to Michigan, especially from my perspective, because I feel like I have a unique perspective in this because I've seen. I mean, I'm from Michigan, so I know how it goes. And all my people on Facebook are, for the most part, from Michigan, and they are just crazy. I mean, it's crazy. They're losing their damn minds about everything. I will tell you this: Indiana, my gym's been open for 3 months. So, like, if you look at the cases in Indiana versus the cases and maybe pull the CDC or the state websites, whatever you want to look at, look up the cases and deaths in Michigan versus Indiana, and I feel like you would not see much of a difference. And
Right.
we have been opened up significantly more this summer than Michigan. And I just think it's going to screw Michigan's economy long term.
Well, because I think the cases right now, I think we hit 10. I think we hit 10K cases. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I think we're
that
at,
sounds about right where Indiana is. I mean, I can look it up right now.
yeah.
I'll do it right now.
I know we have 6K deaths total in COVID, but I know
So last time I looked,
that could be another subject for that topic of deaths on COVID because there's like something. Well, short story. Relative or a friend, family friend relative. Anyway, uh, her his wife passed away. It was due to a heart attack, but the hospital's labeled as COVID. And like his, the husband like was like so pissed off about it. It's like, no, she didn't die of COVID. She had a heart attack and all this other stuff. And finally, like, a good thing is like they reversed it, so the cause of death was like heart attack. So like that's why like the numbers could be way off, because like the only reasons like hospitals try to get COVID deaths is because they get funded for.
yeah, and that's what I've been hearing too. It's like,
And that's not just here. It's just like all over because like I have family.
I'm hearing that everywhere.
Yeah, like in California, they had like like every death was like, oh, COVID, 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 but they were like in there for like maybe like a common cold or something other than other off related COVID, but they just labeled it as a COVID death, and then that's why they would get more money. And that's why I found that, and I was kind of like, really, and
Yeah,
I looked up some information on it, and I was kind of like, wow, like.
yeah. I've got family members right now that if they got COVID, I feel like it would be the nail in the coffin, and that may be the. It's hard to say that's the underlying cause. Like it really is. Like that might be the reason why they're in the hospital right now. Maybe a couple decades worth of just destroying your body through junk food and alcohol.
It'll
What
hit
did
that
it?
threshold.
I mean, it's not. The biggest thing I have a problem with the whole COVID thing is that throughout this thing, everyone's arguing whether or not bars or restaurants should be open, or if gyms should be open, or if we should be able to wear masks, or I shouldn't have to wear a mask. Nobody's talking about, like, I don't know, maybe you should go outside and try to take care of yourself. There's no message that's not from either side of the political aisle. Everyone's just like, that guy's a piece of garbage because he's not opening anything up. That person's a piece of garbage because they just want to let everything go loose and they just don't care if kids die if they go to school. It's like, well, there's definitely a happy medium and all that stuff, but there's still no message. There's definitely a medium and a discussion to be had about how we navigate COVID
everything.
and like how do we, like realistically, we can't live in our houses for the rest of our lives. But there's no discussion about how we should just stay generally healthy. And the people that I've seen that have, the people that I know that work in the healthcare industry that deal with COVID patients, all the people that they deal with that are like on ventilators and stuff in hospitals, they're all typically overweight. I mean, they're typically not taking care of themselves. They're smokers. I've heard a lot of stuff about people that use Juuls and that kind of thing. They're getting sick and then having a lot of problems because of COVID, because of like the unique properties that's in a, I don't know, you'd call it, what other name for any e-cig that affects their lungs and stuff. So I've heard a ton of stuff about that. But yeah.
Yep.
That's my big rant for the day.
Well, I mean, and
No good message.
Speaking
no
of
good
like
message, and I feel like that
reopenings,
could come from anybody.
I mean, speaking of reopenings too, like the one thing I didn't understand, this is something like I know you're gonna be very, very pissed off about, is that like the Coops gym, or our local gym here,
Yeah.
they got
I've
fined.
been following that.
They got fined because they're following guidelines. Like one of the cleanest. Well, I personally never been in there, but like other friends or people like on Facebook that I know, they go to Coops, like they're like a regular there, and they said it's always been like the cleanest, like if not the cleanest, like gym there. And then you get like a strip club down the street, and they get to open like full capacity, and I'm like, that's like the last place you need to like open up. That's like that needs to
Talk
be
about social distancing, man.
yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
Like-
it is, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. How here, and I have a theory on why they're being targeted, why gyms specifically can't open and strip clubs and casinos can. It really boils down to this tax revenue. That's my theory on why they're pretty lenient on that kind of stuff. Uh, but yeah, I mean, from what I've heard about Coops personally, I've never been there obviously, but I've got a ton of people that are diehard power lifters in the area in Saginaw area,
Uh-huh.
and they all say Coops is one of the nicest. It's the nicest gym in the Tri Cities right now.
Yeah.
So that, and then there's one other. There's like Old Town Bay City's got a nice gym. Those are the two gyms in the area that are nice.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. And then again, like I don't know if you saw his the owner's actual interview. I can't remember what news source they were on, but they did a 10-minute interview with them and basically said what I was saying about how there's no message about trying to make everybody somewhat healthier instead of just being fat lards sitting in their TV, sitting in their houses all day eating takeout pizza because we're scared of the COVID.
Yep.
It's insane to me. It's insane to me. If half of the population was dropping like flies, yeah, this is the Black Plague and we need to nail up our doors. But this isn't that.
Well, yeah. Then like the other thing is too, like people try to do the like home gyms and everything, and like all like the weights and everything skyrocketed like on Amazon. Like weights were like 100.
I can't get anything. I was gonna get a power rack from Rogue this last month. I was gonna get a power rack from Rogue so I can squat it in my garage, and I can't get it. It's been out of stock for months.
Yeah.
So which is crazy. So like gyms in my area, I know gyms. I think they either open Monday. Do they open Monday or do they open today?
For here?
Yeah.
She just announced it this week that gyms are opening, and then I just found
so they're
out
probably opening Monday.
Probably Monday for sure. And then she said something about I guess fall sports are going to be resuming. So I guess high school football's back. So I guess they're starting their season.
So what about the programs that never they just shut us down, so we're not going to hold practice? Well, what are they supposed to do? Is throw a season together in friggin' 4 weeks? That's not how that's not how high school football works.
Well, they said they're gonna play like missing like those 2 weeks of whatever. I guess they're gonna play until December. Cause like it's funny, before we went live, I got a text from the basketball coach, and he's like, "Hey, did you hear? We're gonna have our season, and we need you again." And I'm kind of like, well, here's the thing, because my boss quit during COVID, so no one's running that department, and I was like his, second in command, or like his assistant, or sort of, but and like I just did like what he couldn't do, I did the rest of it. So like he knew how to like set up like the TV, the live stream, all that other crap, and I just made like all the content to like share out to like Twitter and all that other crap. So like, yeah, so I just got the news saying like, hey, you might have your job back like next, like at the end of the month. So I was kind of like, finally.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. It's crazy. They force shut down, and then nobody can come to terms on like giving some decent unemployment payouts. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. I thought something was going to be passed. Kind of shifting gears to that. I thought something was going to be passed by the end of July.
Oh no! Well,
an extension, and nothing's been passed.
Well, no, what's his face that turtlehead Mitch.
Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, that fucking another story for that. But anyway, he went on a recess for like 4 weeks.
Yeah, everybody's going on vacation for 4 weeks.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, we're gonna take a 4-week vacation and not get anything passed before. So that's why I'm just kind of like, fucking hate
I
these
just
people.
I don't understand how like any of them can with a clear conscience go on vacation right now. I don't. That's why I hate politicians.
America's perfect.
They're terrible.
You don't trust my president? Terrible. You don't trust my president? Everything's fine. There's no chaos.
Yes.
But I guess like still talking about the difference between Michigan and Indiana. Like Michigan's starting to finally like reopen up again, since my governor said that like this week, during the past week, she's like, okay, everything's gonna open up. I'm pretty sure what it said 20 capacity for gyms, but 100% or 75% capacity for theaters, which I didn't understand that part, because I would think
gym is going to follow that rule.
Yeah, I would say gym's going to be like more than 50, but spread out and all.
If you can't keep 20% capacity at gym and you have to keep people on payroll, you can't stay open.
Yeah.
Because the payroll cost is higher than having those 20% in the gym.
Unless they do like a whole scheduling
you might as well
thing.
shut down.
like a schedule thing. Like, all right, if you
It doesn't matter. Yeah, unless you have even that you can't operate at 20% capacity as a gym and expect to stay open. That's absurd. That doesn't make any sense at all. So
I
here's
think
what's going
that's
to
what they
happen: is the
said.
gyms are going to open up and then lie. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They're going to lie, or
Yeah.
they're going to boost their maximum capacity and just try to get it up higher somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I would do. I mean, I would. Coops, do you think Coops is at 20% right now? No. So
But they're doing
I
it.
don't
But they're doing it like they've been doing it the right way, which is like if no cases have been happening over there, like just let them leave them alone. You know,
Yeah,
like
I
if they're
mean,
doing everything, they're taking precautions and everything. Like why just shit on their parade? You know?
yeah, I know. It's crazy to me that yeah, like I said, it's just there's no message of going and trying to be healthy. It's just like go stay inside.
Yep.
You get some Chick-fil-A delivered contactless delivery and put it out to
Just
your door.
put it right on your porch. You'd be like, all right, bye.
That's what's gonna save you. That's what's gonna save you. It's just like okay,
Yeah.
I like fast food. That's not the best thing for me, probably. So I've gained like 15 pounds since I've been in Indiana. So,
I feels.
and it's mostly because of COVID. I mean, because I've been locked up in the house. Now
Yeah.
I'm getting back in it, and I've been feeling great and working out the last month and a half or so. So
Mhm.
back to the grind.
Back to the old grind. But I think I mean that's mass reopenings, COVID. I mean that's I don't know. That was actually a pretty good topic to share. I don't know if you have any other things you want to talk about that's related to the staying in homes or any other
No,
or any related topic. But if that's the case, I guess this is like the last few minutes of me and Adam. For the last 10 minutes, we'll talk about what comes into our heads. We'll just basically shoot the breeze for the last 10 minutes. But we thank you all for listening and tuning in to our podcast. We do have a Facebook page. We just made it.
it's not public yet.
It's not public yet, but we're trying to get all the like the bull crap. Our
It's gotta look perfect
Yeah,
before
so
it's
we wanna-
perfect. Right now, it's gonna be just somewhere in between. Um, we'll put the link on the YouTube page. It'll be up this week. So
Yeah. So yeah, if you follow and subscribe to our YouTube, our Facebook, I'm pretty sure those are the only two we'll be working for now, until we get it like a Twitter. I don't think we'll get an Instagram. I don't think we would, but I think Twitter for sure, because that just everyone has a Twitter these days. But other than that, we are live Saturdays at 9, and we've been a good roll. We've been a good roll on doing this live on Saturdays at 9. So if you happen to be here on a Saturday night and just want to hear us live, and cool. But other than that, thank you for tuning in. We will be back next Saturday with it'll be a fun topic, because I told Adam this before we went live. Like I got a topic that I really really want to talk
I don't
about.
think you told me the topic yet.
I messaged you about it. I messaged you. But other than that, I'll leave it right there. So right here, this is where the cutoff will be. We'll see you guys next time on Somewhere in Between.